that had been bombed and burned in a war zone.
Helicopter tour operator Richie Olston flew over the smoldering town.
There's hundreds of homes leveled down to the ground. The historic section of the town is destroyed. Even the boats in the harbor were burned down to the water. They're gone.
They're the deadliest fires to ever hit Hawaii. President Biden says federal resources are headed to the state to help them recover from those fires. But he's also asked Congress for $13 billion in emergency aid for Ukraine and another $12 billion to replace disaster relief funds. It's the biggest request from the White House since November. Iran has released 5 Americans on house arrest. We get more from CBS's Christopher Cruz.
The prisoners will be allowed to leave the Islamic Republic after $6 billion of Iranian funds in South Korea are unfrozen. Russell Lucas is a professor of international relations at Michigan State University.
Since the Biden administration came in, it has been working to kind of lower the temperature of potential for conflict with Iran.
Lucas says it may be a few weeks before the prisoners are freed.
The FDA is reviewing a new COVID vaccine as a new dominant strain called EG5 makes its way around the country. Dr. William Schaffner is an infectious disease expert at Vanderbilt.
Although it's highly contagious, it's not more severe.
The CDC says it makes up about 17 cases right now in the U.S. and rising. Nick Kyrgios is skipping the U.S. Open later this month in New York. He dropped out of Wimbledon in June over a wrist injury, but missing this month's Open means that he'll have missed all 4 Grand Slam tournaments a year after reaching his first major final. The Writers Guild heads back to the bargaining table tomorrow in Hollywood. KNX radio reporter Craig Figner's on the picket lines.
It doesn't mean the strike's ending, but at least we know now negotiations between the Hollywood producers and the Writers Guild, they resume tomorrow.
KNX just announced it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yes, I heard it as well.
We just got the news. Yeah, the WGA is going to talk to the producers.
Let's piggyback. Let's all go in. Let's get this industry back.
The strike's been going on for 101 days now, but actors tell him they're optimistic. This is CBS News.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring system helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's News First.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. A U.S. bankruptcy judge has expedited the sale of Mercy, Iowa City, setting a bid deadline of September 19th. The Gazette reports Mercy's chief restructuring officer, Mark Toney, argued in court Wednesday that time was of the essence as the hospital becomes an increasingly fragile organization forced into bankruptcy because of a significant drop in value. Mercy filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy this week, with the University of Iowa announcing its intention to purchase the assets for $20 million. The assets must go out for bid, with the UI as the stalking horse bidder. According to the bankruptcy proceedings, another outside entity could try to outbid the university, but it would have to come in with a bid of at least $21.3 million, have proof of financial backing, have healthcare experience, and have a plan for Mercy's assets. If another bidder or bidders emerge, an auction will be held on September 22nd. Mercy Iowa City is the 5th largest employer in Iowa City, with over 1,100 employees and over 90 physicians working across 18 primary and specialty clinics in the area. An Iowa City woman was arrested for her second OWI after allegedly crashing into a house. Officers were called to the Tower Court residence of 61-year-old Wendy Clark for reports of a vehicle collision into a house. Witnesses on the scene told officers they saw Clark get into a Buick and rev the vehicle in the driveway. When she put the vehicle in reverse, she allegedly drove through the front yard of the residence and crashed into the stairs. She then reportedly drove the vehicle into the porch of the adjacent property. Upon contact, Clark allegedly showed signs of intoxication. Police say she couldn't follow instructions to complete field sobriety testing and refused a portable breathalyzer test. Clark did consent to a data master test at the police department, reportedly showing her breath alcohol level at 0.239%. That's nearly 3 times the legal limit to drive. Clark was charged with her second OWI, having a prior conviction in Lynn County in 2019. If convicted, she could be sentenced to up to 2 years in jail. The Iowa City Airport Commission will hold an open house from 4 to 7 p.m. Thursday, August 17th, where initial design directions for improvements to its decades-old terminal building, surrounding landscape, and entry drive will be shared. Airport officials and the design team will make a brief presentation at 5 o'clock with opportunities for public comment. The Iowa City Airport team will collect input from members of the public regarding the airport's future space needs. For more information, go to the news section at icgov.org. 3 eastbound Iowa City transit routes will detour due to the closure of Washington Street between Clinton Street and Lynn Street for the Rock the Chalk event on Friday. The affected bus routes are South Iowa City, Court Street, and Towncrest. The routes will detour using Clinton Street to Burlington Street instead of traveling eastbound on Washington Street. The inbound trips of the routes will not be affected. The bus stops at Washington Street and Lynn Street and Washington Street and Gilbert Street will not be serviced during the events. Normal service will resume on Saturday. In sports, for the first time in program history, the University of Iowa women's basketball team will host an outdoor scrimmage at Kinnick Stadium. The Hawkeyes will face DePaul in crossover at Kinnick Sunday, October 15th at 3 p.m. Iowa women's basketball season ticket holders from last season will have access to purchase tickets beginning at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. That will be followed by UI contributors and football season ticket holders being able to purchase them on Wednesday, August 16th. Tickets for the general public will go on sale Thursday, August 17th. Proceeds from the event will benefit the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. A limited number of rain or shine tickets will be sold at $20. That will allow fans to attend the event at Kinnick or at Carver Hawkeye Arena in case weather forces the game to be played indoors. Kinnick-only reserved seat tickets will be $10 for adults and $5 for students and youth age 18 and under. Football stadium premium seat holders will be contacted separately and provided an opportunity to purchase tickets to the event. The contest can be seen on BTN+. And a reminder, we've got another KCJJ radio auction Friday morning starting at 6. For more information, go to the KCJJ app or 1630kcjj.com and click on auction. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. For tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms possible, a partly cloudy sky, a low in the mid-60s. For tomorrow, scattered showers and storms in the morning, then some sunny breaks towards the afternoon. A high in the upper 80s. Another chance of showers and storms tomorrow night, lows mid-60s. Sunny and upper 80s again for Saturday, more storms possible Sunday. That's KCJJ weather. We're sitting at 84 degrees right now.
1630 KCJJ, it is now time for another episode of Molly Suter and the Other Girl. Other Girl, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm the Other Girl, Cindy Hudson.
There you go.
2 weeks in a row.
I know. Well, don't get used to it.
It's crazy.
We might have another one next week, but then I think football starts. Okay. Football starts before school starts, I think.
I have no idea.
Actually, I don't have the schedule with me.
I think
right
it's better to say that football really never ends.
It just takes
It's always
breaks.
football.
It just
There's
takes
always
breaks.
football. If you flip the channels right now, you will find a football game.
Although, wait, football is on Friday nights. I'm not sure why I said that. We do this on Thursdays.
I know, but I think sometimes there's a Thursday night game. Like, isn't the
I
City
feel
West game on Thursday nights or something usually? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't remember.
I go with the flow.
I don't remember. But my point is that the show could be interrupted very, very soon again.
Well, you know, we always like to sneak up on you when you least expect it.
We do. It's surprise radio.
We're like the Spanish Inquisition. No one ever expects it.
Are we?
Isn't that the joke?
Yeah, from what, History of the World?
That or what's that English dudes that do the Knights of Ni?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I think it's the Mel Gibson, Mel Brooks. I get them confused.
The Spanish Inquisition. No one ever expects. Monty Python. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong. It could be either.
I don't remember.
I'm
Anyway,
sure-
I've not seen Monty
I'm-
Python all the way.
I'm sure if Elvis comes into the chat room,
Yes.
he'll be able to tell us.
Elvis, are you here? I don't know. We just started and we didn't put it anywhere. That's another thing. I am not very good at promoting this show just because I like the spontaneous nature vibe of it. You know?
I think we can still keep that, but I have plans in my head. I've been taking that class, and the one thing that it's obvious anyway, you don't need to take a class to know this, but you got to be consistent.
Well, duh.
So if we're not consistent on our Thursday nights, we have to consistently post things, like clips from the show
Although
every Thursday. Or
we should reshare the show from last week because it was so funny, and there's only 55 views on YouTube, and like a lot of our videos have like over 200. I'm just like, why?
And I have to figure out how to find because there's some funny clips that we could definitely would work well, I think, on TikTok as far as like quick little clips.
Yeah, but
or
we
on,
would have
on
to
Facebook.
like sift through all of our
I know,
videos
and
to find
I just
them.
like I'm like I don't want to listen to myself for 2
No,
hours
and we
again.
just ramble on for 2 hours.
I didn't listen the first time we did it. I've done it before, and I've managed to pull clips here and there.
Yeah,
but
I've seen that.
I think if I can, I mean, I know how to do it, and I know how it would work, but I just have to be able to do it. That's the hard part.
Also,
if I could just do all the clips and then like hold them somewhere and then just post them every week.
Can you believe we've been doing this for 3 years and we still don't know how to promote our own show?
We know how to promote it.
We just don't do it.
We need somebody to come on for free, do the clips, figure out how to do it all. I know there's a way you can schedule things too. I've learned that.
You can schedule posts, but even so, even if you do schedule posts, you still have to like input it all to be scheduled.
I know.
To be posted. Like, it's
have we mentioned that Molly has been diagnosed with ADHD, and I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, which
we
is
have mentioned that
99% of the
several
problem.
times. Yep. It's the executive function. It's not functioning.
It's dysfunctioning.
It's not functioning. Can we get through an entire show without mentioning ADHD?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, we've
Because
already
I wanted
failed.
to talk about the TikTok.
Oh, Elvis is here. He just deleted a message. What did you say?
I don't know what I have schedule. It says, "Hey there, schedule." Or schedule. We don't know. He could be British.
I don't think he is. I think he's local.
Or he could be local and say schedule. And be weird.
That's weird. I hope he doesn't do that.
This is somewhat ADHD related, but you know, on TikTok you can change the speed of the videos.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No.
Okay, you can do that. And I've known it for a while, but I kind of forgot about it. But what aggravates me is I don't know how many TikTok ADHD doctors there are. They're like, hey, here's some helpful tips if you have ADHD. And then they spend the next 30 seconds rambling on about not the tips.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you not know who your audience is? Like,
no, sometimes I will skip videos that like are like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to do something. And then it's just like really slow
I know. I don't need to know your life history.
I don't need to know that. Just chop.
You can put that in the comments or in the little descriptors of the video. There's lots and lots of space for that.
I mean, but I never go in the comments and be like, get to the point, just because I find that rude, and most people say that anyway.
I know, but most of the rambling that gets done, if they want to talk about, what their qualifications are, just put that in the description of the video. There's a lot of room for that. I don't need that. But the videos that I would want to go faster, I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of making them go faster if they can't catch my attention in the first, if they've bored me. They caught me in the first 5 seconds, but the second 15 seconds is them rambling.
Also, just the fact that TikTok and before it Vine just completely ruined an entire generation of attention spans, because the whole Vine thing was 6-second videos. And even that, if you didn't get to the point within half of those seconds, you would skip it.
Well, I'm to that point. I'm getting more and more angry. I think you should go through a series of tests before you're allowed to have the 10-minute feature.
I just got it. I just got my 10-minute feature. I'm not sure.
You better not ruin it, or
no, I'm not going to use it. There's no reason to use it. I use the 3-minute version, but my videos almost never go past 2 minutes, because I'm there's no reason for anything I have to say to be over 2 minutes on TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, on this show, we ramble on for 2 hours.
I mean, that's the format.
That's the format. For TikTok, it's short videos. I don't need to be rambling on for more than 2 minutes. So, all of my book reviews and stuff are just this is what I thought of it. Would I recommend it? What did I like about it? What did I hate about it? And then that's it.
And I haven't watched all of your videos from beginning to end.
You should.
But I know the first couple of seconds you don't rehash, here's why I decided to do one in my book list.
Oh.
You know what I mean? In every single one.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. And you know that.
I also don't think a lot of people care anyway. I do most of my book videos for me, so I can look back on the stuff I read, and I said that in my first video, but I didn't rehash it.
They have Goodreads for that, but
exactly. I mean, I do have Goodreads, but I wanted a video format as well.
I think it's a good way to promote reading.
Yeah, I agree. And didn't you say it kind of inspired you to attempt to get back into reading?
Okay, spoiler alert.
I think that's...
One book is still on the floor of my car, and the other book is next to my bed.
I have 5 books in my car at any given time,
and I'm pretty sure is today the 10th. Yeah, they're due back today, but they don't charge you late fees anymore, so
which is good.
I mean, that doesn't mean I'm going to keep the book forever, but I'm going to extend the due date again one more time.
Sometimes I have to do that. I either devour books within 3 days, or it takes me a few weeks, regardless of the size of the book. I just finished this book called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and it was 800 pages long, and it took me 3 weeks to read. But I also had a 300-page book. It was so little, but it still took me a week to read because I wasn't
engrossed in it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find. I just don't know what my niche is right now. When I was voraciously reading, I kept going for the same stuff. The vampire werewolf fiction. I loved that, so I read tons of it, and then I kind of veered off into the fantasy kind of other fantasy worlds. And I read so much, and then all of a sudden I just stopped, and now I can't I don't really want to read that again because I've outgrown vampires.
Have you heard of A Court of Thorn and Roses? That book series? It's fantasy. It has to do with fairies and stuff.
Do you know who the author is?
Oh, no.
I have not heard of it.
Well, it's everywhere on Book Talk. Everyone is talking about it, and I wanted to read it, but my friend told me that it's kind of an offshoot of 2 other books, and I have to read those first. It's so weird. I'm why can't I just dive into this offshoot?
Well, I think you probably could. I know I couldn't. I'd have to read the prequel things first. I don't know. I think I'm going to try to look for some biographies I think I might like.
Oh, yeah. I really like biographies and autobiographies. Those actually really did help me get back into reading. Back when I worked at the bookstore, I would read a lot of biographies.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try to read those. I was trying to find the Sister Wives book. I don't want to pay for it. That's the thing. I don't want to pay for it.
I read this biography about Rosemary Kennedy, and she was the Kennedy daughter that had a lot of like cognitive disabilities.
Oh, she's the one that they gave like a
lobotomy.
Lobotomy, yes.
Yes. And it was depressing. It was obviously very depressing because of how her family treated her. Mostly her dad. Okay, her sisters were really good to her, but her dad mostly was not a good dude to her. But it was really interesting, and I do recommend it. I don't remember what it was called, though. I think
what
it was
did they
called
say
Rosemary.
the reason, why was she given a lobotomy? Was she, like, severely, like...
She actually wasn't. No, because they thought, at the time, they thought lobotomy would, like, fix her problems. But it really just made it worse. And so, like, she forgot how to walk, and, like, she forgot how to talk. Like, before that, she had cognitive disabilities, but she could still, like, carry a conversation. She could still walk around. She could still, like, interact with her family. But they were trying to help her, and in trying to help her, they further disabled her.
This was decades ago.
Oh,
we still don't...
This was in the, what, 30s?
I know, but what I don't
40s.
understand is that lobotomy is like taking out a piece of your brain, right? Is that what they essentially did?
Yeah. I'm
like,
pretty sure.
they don't, to this day, they still don't have the brain mapped out. So what made those doctors 50 years ago think, oh yeah, let's take a chunk. You don't need it all anyway.
Because in some cases, the lobotomy, like, really chills you out, and you don't really have behavioral issues because you don't have a personality anymore. Like, you're just really just a flat affect. And that's what they wanted for their daughter, because they're like, you know, she doesn't need to be an individual person. She just needs to not be a problem for us, you know?
Okay, but like what, I mean, that's, I guess maybe I should read that book, because
You
I kind of want to
should.
know
Wait,
was it really truly a problem, or was she just like...
Here, I'm going to look up what it's called. Oh, yes, okay. It's called Rosemary, the Hidden Kennedy Daughter by Elizabeth... Sorry. I can't read this.
I'm just going to search Rose Kennedy on my Libby app.
It's Rosemary, the Hidden Kennedy Daughter by Kate Clifford Larson. She was pretty, too.
I even like to get myself to...
And the way that, in the book, they describe that her cognitive disabilities can be attributed to her mom being told to hold it and not give birth to her daughter until the doctor can get there. But this was at the peak of the Spanish flu in 1918, and so he was late getting there. And so if she had just given birth to her daughter and, like, the doctor came later and, like, I guess took care of her that way, she might not have had those difficulties that she did. But because her brain lacked oxygen in the birth canal, that's why she had so many issues.
I mean, I guess they didn't know better.
No, but it's tragic though. Like, if she had been born
So she
now,
had
she would have been
actual
okay.
disabilities, like physical, mental disabilities is why they...
Mostly mental. Like, the physical disabilities didn't happen until she was lobotomized. But yeah, you should read it. It's really good. Again, that's called Rosemary, the Hidden Kennedy Daughter by Kate Clifford Larson.
I can read it. I just have too many things checked out because I was trying to find...
I'm talking to the people listening, too.
Okay, yes. Let's all read it, but don't check it out from the Kindle library from Iowa City Public Library until after I'm done with it.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you
I have
send
to unborrow a couple books.
Yeah, I hit the limit. I hit my hold limit, and that hasn't happened yet. I keep, like, pushing back the dates because I got overexcited and put too many books on hold, and they keep popping up as being ready when I'm not ready for them.
Yeah.
And so I have some books that I put on hold in February, and I still haven't gotten to them.
Well, I have a bunch on that I've checked out, but I'm not gonna read. I thought I'd go back to an author that I've liked before, but I just can't really.
Honestly, it's actually really good that you keep checking them out anyway, just because checking out a book tells the library that you want to use their resources, and so it does help the library, even if you don't read it. So you should still check out books.
Books for everyone.
Yes.
Free.
Yes. Libraries are great.
Yeah.
And they're one of the only places you can hang out now without spending money.
Well, and you can I didn't know this, but you could fax things from the library. I don't know if they charge you or not, but you can.
Who still faxes?
I know. You can. They'll let you email stuff. I mean, you can go to the computers. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do at the library that I didn't know you could do.
So many things. There's movies and it's apparently our friend here, Elvis, is not local. How did you find out about us then? All this time I thought you were a local guy. Who are you?
The spotlight on Elvis.
Spotlight on Elvis. He used to follow me on Twitter before my account was lost when I got the new phone.
You lost Twitter. You're banned from
Tinder. Yes. There's
Maybe
a billion other apps in case I want to ever be on
Maybe
one.
they'll let you back on Twitter when it's now X, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I have an alt Twitter. I still have Twitter. It's just not a public, it's just not a public page, which is just fine. It doesn't have to be.
I have Twitter. I just don't understand how it works. I just don't understand.
I'm still calling it Twitter. I'm never calling it X. I hate Elon Musk, by the way.
I still call 5 seasons down in Cedar Rapids. It's now the U.S. Cellular Center.
Oh, yeah. It is the U.S.
Or maybe it's
Cellular
something
Center.
else now.
It might be something else now.
Formerly known as the U.S. Cellular Center.
I still call it the U.S. Cellular Center. I think it was the U.S. Cellular Center since at least 2008.
Well, in my days, as a Ute, it was the 5 seasons, or 4 seasons, I don't know, it was something seasons.
Apparently, Elvis started listening in 97 when he came to Iowa City to visit. And he still listens online. Well, that's cool. Wow. That's the dedication we like to see.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. By the way, in case you don't know where this chat room we're talking about is, that's on YouTube. We're streaming live. Our channel is called The Mighty 1630 KCJJ, and you can talk to us and our friend that we call Elvis in the chat room. So.
And there's 2 of us there. Me, you.
Elvis.
You and I think, count as one person.
Probably. No.
No, it says...
Steve has told me that this number, isn't real.
Now that it says top messages, too.
What's the top message?
I don't know. It just says 2. It looks like there's 2 people on it. I don't understand YouTube either, obviously. I am such a boomer at times.
But you're
I
not
don't
even
understand.
a boomer. You're an X.
I don't understand the Twitters.
This is the YouTubes.
The YouTubes?
The YouTubes. Right, so we've managed to fill a half hour with utter nonsense.
Has your FYP been filled with the Alabama boat brawl?
No.
Oh my god, it's amazing!
No, Cindy, your FYP is so different from mine. You get the most random stuff.
It's not random. This is gonna be this is shifting history as we speak.
How so?
So there was a ferry boat, one of those casino type boats that have different levels. It was had a party of people on it. They were trying to dock at their spot on the docking area in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why that's important is because a bunch of white people had their boat,
Oh, no.
their little pontoon boat, whatever that means. It's a smaller boat.
Yeah.
Parked there. They had been told not to park there. Dock there, I guess.
Whatever, yeah.
People from the boat, like, used the loudspeaker to get them to move. They were just being flipped off. It was just not a good scene. The co-captain, who happens to be black, got ferried to the dock. And he's, like, trying to figure out, like, where the owners are of this boat. He starts, untying it and trying to... You can see, like, on the video that he's kind of trying to figure out what he's going to do next. One or two of the white guys come up. They're, like, very... I don't know if redneck's the right word to use, but they were very...
The country boys.
I mean, shirtless, sunburnt.
Sure.
It was a whole thing. And you can see on the videos, because everybody's filming this, right? Because they can tell something's going to go down.
Uh-huh.
They're like hands moving. They're like the co-captain's like, like pointing all around and clapping as he's talking because he's trying to accentuate.
Right.
Another white guy comes up, and then a third one comes up out of the video that I saw with his knee up, basically did like kind of a professional wrestling move on the black co-captain who's by himself. There's three of them at this point. He, of course, I think maybe probably swings back.
Right.
But the three guys are like fighting this captain.
Yeah.
Who is just basically doing his job and telling them, you're not supposed to park here, you need to
Right.
move. We've got a whole, like, couple hundred people on our ferry boat. We need to park. The hell didn't even break loose at that point. It was like 3 against 1, maybe 4 against 1. Like, the people from the boats just all started coming up. And then at some point, you see a younger guy must be from the ferry boat, swim like the 13 or 20 feet or however it is from the ferry boat to the dock and lifts. He has like the core strength of a god at this point because he's lifting himself up onto the deck.
Oh,
you know how hard
gosh.
that must be? Like the decking is like...
Yeah, I went to a lake a few weekends ago and tried to pull myself up on the dock
can't
and
even
couldn't.
imagine. So he gets up and he starts helping. We find out later, like all these people, like everyone kept saying he was a security guard because he kind of had the white shirt on, black pants. He was a co-captain. The young guy that came in was a coworker of his who works on the boat. He started fighting. Several other people, I think at this point, from like all the white people are from the boat.
Oh my god!
So there's like I think anywhere from 6 to 8 people that were white that were on this little pontoon boat that were fighting like these small amount of the all black people.
Oh my god!
Who are 100% right. These white people are 100% wrong.
Right.
But they're fighting. And then I can't remember the exact steps, but the guy swimming over was amazing. They've dubbed him Aquaman. So Mayne.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
amazing. And then they finally get the ferry sort of docked so that some people come out and you see these 3 big black guys kind of skipping to a fight, which sounds weird, but if you see it, you can see that they're kind of like warming up their legs. And like, I have learned so much about the culture in Birmingham because like so many black creators are like, okay, if you see guys skip into a fight, you run. Because they mean business.
If they cannot wait to get to the fight to fight you,
And they're like skipping. And they came in like in that formation of like 1 guy in the front, 2 guys in the back. Like, I don't think they planned it that way, but that's kind of like in this sort of movie formation.
So who won the fight?
Well, it was at that point, another guy too also found a white folding chair. And I don't know if you've seen the folding chair references all over.
Oh,
that's what
wait.
it's from.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I'm like, why?
So he's
why
out
does every
there
video have
whipping
the-
everybody with
Okay.
like all the
Okay,
the
thank you for
pontoon
that
boat
context.
people. I would say the only thing I would say maybe was a little iffy was at one point this woman who I watched this video a million times. This particular woman was definitely in the fray, beaten on
Yeah.
other black people, quite frankly. She was white.
Mhm.
And at some point she gets pushed down and she's down on the ground and she's like pushed.
Oof.
And the guy with the chair comes over and bonks her on the head with the chair. I mean, She's already sitting down, but she gets up and starts fighting again. So she 100% deserved that chair.
Oh my gosh.
They, of course, finally, watching the video over and over again, it seemed like it lasted forever. But finally, police officers come back, and there's some video of the police officers kind of in a circle around the fight, sort of. I don't know if they were waiting to see what happened or.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. They ended up arresting everybody and releasing everybody. But then they came back the next day, and the mayor of Birmingham is like, okay, we've got these people, all of the people from the boat, from the little pontoon boat that was wrong. They've been arrested. There's a couple other that are supposed to be turning themselves in. There's one of them owns some Quick Trip type place.
This is so messy. Just don't park your pontoon somewhere else.
What I love about this is that when you dive into each one of the people, they're horrible people. They've left racist comments. This one guy's who's supposedly the owner of this place that he owns.
Right.
People were making, because that's what people on the internet do. They find your business if
Yeah.
you do something horrible, and they
Yeah.
leave bad comments. And supposedly the owner of the page is like, well, I only want white money anyway. That kind of stuff.
Oh, no. Oh.
And I think finally somebody said, you need to get off the internet and turn yourself in. And then also I think the same person said that they were the first ones to walk away from the fight. And there's video of him beating people up. Black people up.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I'm not surprised that happened in Birmingham, Alabama,
Well,
though.
I'm not surprised either. I think they thought that for many centuries they could do what they want to a black guy because they don't care. They're white. And it was proven wrong. And that's why I think that incident really brought a community together in a way that needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing to watch.
Yet none of that has popped up on my FYP. Only the
chair.
Only the white chair references, and it's usually videos to that Jason Aldean song, Try That in a Small Town, which is really just a racist dog whistle.
Right.
But I was like, what is this? What is this in reference to? But now I know, so thank you.
Yes, well, now you got to watch the videos. I've been off work for the week, so of course the day after it happened, that's all I did was watch videos, and I kept watching those. So of course more came. I don't know. My feed is pretty woke, if I do say so myself. So
well, mine is currently just Taylor Swift Eras Tour, but mostly
I've been seeing some of the people that go to Taylor Swift.
I've seen so many people I'm like, how did you guys get tickets? 'Cause after that whole debacle last November, and also seeing how expensive the tickets are resale, I'm like, why are you guys buying these $1,000 nosebleeds? Why are you doing?
I wouldn't even spend that money if I.
It was even worse.
I had front row seat.
It was even worse this time because she announced her second leg of the American tour. I'm going to a European date, by the way. I'm going to a London show. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've mentioned that.
You mentioned it to me last week outside of the show, but
I am very excited about it. So I didn't try for Verified Fan this time because I'm like, I'm already going to a show. I don't need to do this to myself again. But yeah, most people got waitlisted, and the people who did get tickets couldn't get any because all of the tickets were bought by bots before they could get any tickets. And now all of the resale sites like TickPick and StubHub and SeatGeek and stuff are just filled with tickets, but they're over $2,000 because these scammers are like, ha 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 ha. People will buy these. And Swifties are kind of stupid, and so they will buy them.
Well, I know, but I can't think of anything I'm that much of a fan of, but
I love Taylor Swift to death. I would not pay over $300 for any sort of ticket. I just wouldn't.
I feel like years ago that's been a problem forever, that some artists have been trying to battle that.
They have, but you can't. Ever since the Ticketmaster and Live Nation merger, I think that happened in the late 2010s. Ever since then, like, there's just a monopoly. You can't get anything other than Ticketmaster as the official, like, ticket site.
I hate to bring up Louis C.K., but I was a big fan of his for a while until he got gross.
Right.
But when he did his tours, he like learned, like I read an article where he was talking about how he decided to do his own ticket dispersion. So like instead of having Ticketmaster or anybody else sell the tickets for him, he just figured out a way to do it. I don't remember how he did it, but like he cut the crappy Ticketmaster out.
I feel like it should be the venues again. I know, like, before the internet, like, that's all you could do. Like, go to the actual venue, like, to the box office, see if you could buy tickets. But I don't know what's stopping, like, all these venues for having, like, a ticket marketplace themselves. I feel like that would be beneficial for everyone.
I mean, I'm sure there's some, like...
Well, there's probably something I'm not thinking of, but...
Mafia. Like, there's 100% somebody that has a lot of money. Not necessarily the mafia, but, like a Teamster kind of thing. You know, you hear about, like, there's some group that has, like, control over everything.
The Illuminati?
Yes, maybe they're in charge.
Oh,
but there's
the
something somewhere
for Ticketmaster.
where one person is making a ton of money and they've got a lot of power, and that's why we're not seeing individuals do this or individual places do it. There's some.
You know, I lied. There is another ticket agency that you can get tickets from, and it's called Access. It's spelled AXS, and that's how I got my London tickets. Because Europe split the amount of tickets between Ticketmaster and Access. And so a lot more people got tickets because you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket, you know, and not everyone knows about Access. And so that's how I was able to get tickets without a lot of hassle.
Smart move, Molly.
Without a lot of hassle. It was actually a smart move by my friend who I'm going with. She's from Norway, and she knows all about, like, getting tickets to, like, high-demand shows. She is, like, always front row to, like, every single show. It's impressive. I don't want to be front row, though. I'm short. I'm not going to be on the floor and just crane my head up to see her.
Are you finna be in the pit?
I'm not finna be in the pit. Oh my god.
Did I say that right?
Finna be in the pit, yeah.
That girl was...
So if you don't know what Cindy is referencing, about a year ago, there was this girl who went viral on TikTok for complaining about how she had pit tickets to Harry Styles, but then like the StubHub sale didn't go through, and so she had to buy like $10,000 pit tickets. And so when she was trying to like get her original tickets back, StubHub was like, "Oh, we could probably get you like balcony seats," and she's like, "No, like I finna be in the pit."
She's super white.
Yeah, she's very white, and she was saying that. That was another thing, but also just the fact that you can spend $10,000 on Harry Styles pit tickets.
Isn't she some side kind of like YouTuber or?
No, she is an OnlyFans girly.
Oh,
she gets like a lot of money from that, and I think also an influencer on TikTok too. But I think
will
mostly
not be
OnlyFans.
Keeping all of her money if she's spending $10,000 on
Harry Styles, and like. This isn't even a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Like, this is the only Harry show can go to. No, she's gone to, like, 5+ like, shows. And she's always in the pit. She finna be...
I don't even feel right saying that, even as a joke.
Yeah. So maybe let's stop.
Okay, one more time. Okay.
No! Let's stop. But
I do love it when I hear it out in the wild, though.
She's gonna be in the pit. That's what that means.
Spoiler, she was in the pit.
Didn't she go?
She ended up going, right?
She ended up going because she bought $10,000 tickets. Pit tickets.
That's crazy. Do you know what I could buy for $10,000? I could buy...
so many things.
I could buy a new car. No. Well, it would be a Kia, but it would still be a new car.
Oh, I wouldn't care enough to buy a new car. I would definitely use it as, like, a travel budget thing.
I'd buy a small little camper and a small little truck to
cute.
Carry that camper. Because I'm pretty sure my Veloster does not have a tow package.
Your what?
My Veloster, the car that I have right now.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot tow. Although at Walmart the other day, I saw this car that, it wasn't a Veloster, but it was a small car. It was a small car that typically does not tow things. And they had a looked homemade, little camper that looked like it just was big enough to, like, sleep in behind it. And I kind of wanted to wait for the person to come out so I could ask them questions, but, like, I did not.
You should have.
I didn't. My daughter and I went to, it's her birthday last week, so we went to Oysters tonight.
Where's that?
Well, we ate oysters at the Atlas.
I thought the place was called Oysters.
No, it should be. It's like the only place I think in town that you can get oysters for like $1 during happy hour. But the reason why I bring it up is because behind us there was two young ladies having a conversation, and I heard them say, "Well, on TikTok, and then they said something else. I saw a video is what they said.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to turn, and I told my daughter, I'm like, I want to tell them that they can just say, I saw it on the news, and everyone who watches TikTok will know. And the people that don't watch TikTok will think that you actually saw it on the news.
I don't actively watch the news anymore. I mean, we have CNN on all the time in the studio, but I don't monitor it.
I know people that still watch the, 6 o'clock news on whatever channel it has.
Yeah. People who have regular cable still do that. I don't, just because I've not had cable as an adult. Like, ever since I moved out of my parents' house, I haven't had cable.
I haven't had it for, I think 10 years ago.
And I haven't,
12 years ago.
I have not actively watched cable, like, going to a channel and, flipping it in so long.
I mean, that's why we've talked about this before. I like the live feature of, Roku channel and of the Peacock channel.
I kind of miss it, though. I remember when I was a kid, especially in the summer, I had kind of the channels memorized and, the programming, for, the weekdays. On Disney Channel, it would have, That's So Raven, and then I would, after That's So Raven, I would switch to ABC Family because there was a rerun of Boy Meets World, and, after the Boy Meets World rerun, I would go to Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or something, so it's a whole afternoon sorted just flipping between 4 channels.
But I liked that too. But at night I would go to sleep and I'd be like, okay, if I can fall asleep between 10 and 12, Family Guy was on.
Oh yeah.
But if I couldn't fall asleep before then another show would come on. It's I don't really like that show to sleep to, so I'd have to find another show to watch.
Was this pre Dateline?
Yes. Although now my go to sleep show is Charmed. I don't know why. I'm just stuck on Charmed.
I think that's probably better than Dateline.
No, it's the same. It does the same thing.
Really? I don't know.
I mean,
the one time I watched Dateline before bed, I had a nightmare.
I don't have Dateline related nightmares actually. Usually.
Well, it wasn't Dateline related. It was just after Dateline.
I don't have to watch Dateline to have nightmares about being murdered. But most of Dateline ends with you knowing who did it, which is to me I don't like watching those shows that are still missing. What happened?
Oh.
I don't like those unsolved mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
I like watching the old ones because a lot of times they have updates that they've been solved.
Yeah, they've been solved.
But the new one, I don't think there is any new ones. But now I can watch Charmed for hours. I just every couple of hours it shuts off because of whatever reason. It won't let you watch more than 3 hours at a time.
Why?
Some of the streaming channels are that way. I don't know why.
Oh.
It just shuts off after. Netflix used to be 3 episodes.
Yeah, Netflix used to be
stop.
are you still watching? Blah, 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 blah.
I think there's a way to override it on some channels.
I always felt so, targeted.
I know.
When those happen. I'm it's called a binge. I'm binging this show
How
on Netflix.
dare you?
It's are you still watching Grey's Anatomy? And I'm yes, I am.
It's not over yet. And when it's over, I'm going to rewatch it.
Grey's Anatomy has 18 seasons. I'm going to be watching it for a while.
I still have not watched that.
No, okay, so, well, ever since I lost my access to Netflix, like, I haven't been watching it. So, it's going to take me forever to get through it.
I discovered there are some Korean shows, because I really like the format of Korean shows now, that you can go in and change to English dubbing, which I'm not a big fan of, but I will do it for shows that are good.
Oh, see, I like dubbing when I have the opportunity to do so. And I know that's a hot take, especially for, like, I know you're talking about, like, K-dramas, but this is a really big debate in, like, anime. Like, subs versus dubs. Like, people who like dubs are, like, definitely the minority, and the people who like the subs better are, like, on their high horse all the time, because they're like, but you don't get, like, the vocal nuance in the dubs, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, are you really getting the vocal nuance of a language you don't understand? Like, there's no point in having that attitude, I don't think.
I mean, I do both, so I'm extra superior.
I will do dub if I have the chance, if I have the opportunity.
The one I was watching, I don't even know that Dr. Cha that I was watching, I don't even know if it had that choice, because I didn't even look. But I started watching Zombieverse, which is, I think, Korean. And it's like a live action, or not live action, but it's like a show that's like, the premise is that these people were watching a reality show, like they were doing kind of a reaction show, and zombies came out of the show. And so, like, now they're being chased by zombies, and it's kind of, like, interesting because you'll see, like, the screen kind of has, like, video game, like, markers on it. Like, they'll have, like, question marks, or, like, here's where, you know, they're trying to get the gas into the van, and they'll, like, have, like, a little symbol. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if it'll hold my attention, but when I was going through the stuff, because I didn't want to read, I wanted some sort of background a little bit, and I was able to go through the settings or whatever, and it allowed me to pick English to dub over. So I'm going to try that with more of them.
You know what Korean show I think you should watch?
I watched the first 5 minutes of it.
You did?
I can't.
What did you think of it?
It wasn't
Did
engaging.
you get to the tornado?
I knew what was going to happen.
You have to get to the tornado.
I've only gotten through the first, like, 5 minutes of the show, so I really haven't gotten very far.
The tornado is maybe 20 minutes in. You can make it 20 minutes.
I'll try one episode, maybe 2 episodes.
Well, one episode is like an hour, so if you get through one episode,
but
I will be proud of you.
Can I choose dubbing?
I actually don't know.
I'll have to check. If I can choose dubbing, then yes, definitely.
I don't. Well, Amy and I watched it in Korean because I don't think I knew that dubbing was an option. If it indeed is, I don't know if it is.
I don't know if it shows it on everything, but I know, like, with that one big show that popped up, the one where everybody died, the game show that they were in.
Oh, Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game is dubbed.
I know that was an option, but you can also watch it in Korean and subtitle.
I think Squid Game was like a Korean show, but distributed through Netflix, so the dubbing was an option. I think No. I was about to say I think Crash Landing on You is just on Netflix, but I don't think that's true. I think it's distributed by Netflix, but I don't know if it's dubbed. I didn't even look.
I'll look.
Yeah, check.
I'll look tonight if I can remember. I just, you know how it's the romance crap.
It's not crap. It's beautiful, Cindy.
Did you ever watch Sex and the City? And are you watching?
No, because I couldn't get into it. I watched an episode and I'm just like, even though this is only 20 years old, like, the way they speak is, like, so dated to me.
I don't think it's aged well. And
no.
I've been watching, because there's nothing else on at this point. I've watched everything. And Just Like That, which is like the 20 years later or whatever, which I don't know if they've really learned anything in the 20 years that they've been off air.
No, but that's an important lesson to learn. Sometimes your favorite characters are just like people in real life. They don't change.
I know, but like, I'm in season 2 because I just can't stop watching it, because once I start, I want to see the ending of it. Mm-hmm. And there's an episode, like a scene where she's standing in a bike lane. Carrie is. And she, of course, gets run over by a New York biker. who in every other world, that biker would have cursed her out and like made her feel like crap because she was standing where she wasn't supposed to be, and he's injured.
But in this one, is he hot?
Of course he is.
Yep.
He's the guy off of Younger.
Man you've ever seen. Yep.
He's the older dude off of Younger. I don't know if you watched that show.
No.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
He doesn't look very handsome in the bike helmet because, frankly, who does?
Nobody does.
And at first I'm like, God, he's kind of... Because he has the bike glasses on, too. Like the goggles and everything, which seemed extra to me. But she walks him to the urgent care and, like, waits for him. She's like, oh, you're still waiting? And, of course...
Listen, if you...
They fall in love, I think. I don't know. I didn't even get that far.
Cute.
I'm like, that never happens to me.
I love a meet cute. A run over you with a bike meet cute.
I hate them. It never happens.
No.
Do you know of anyone in real life that had a meet cute like that?
No, I don't think I know anyone who ever had a meet cute. I think that only happens in fiction. Maybe it happened in like the 90s and 80s. I don't think a meet cute can happen in the digital age because everyone is, not to be so boomer about this, but everyone is engrossed in their phones all the time. It leaves less of a chance for a meet cute.
Well, not really, because if you're looking down at your phone, you're not seeing that you're in a bike lane.
Yeah.
She was literally on her phone talking to somebody and got run over. So there would be a more increase of getting run over by a bike and then falling in love.
Well, I'm talking about like your standard meet cute. Like you grab the wrong coffee in a coffee shop or something.
That never happens. I mean, that happens all the time. Those things happen all the time,
right,
but you never meet somebody doing it.
It's not because like, oh, this extremely hot guy tells me I can just keep his coffee and then we strike up a conversation. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
And that's what aggravates me. It's never happened in the history of the world.
Listen, if you have a meet cute story that happened to you personally, please call 319-358-1630. I want to know about it. I want to know if this type of romance exists.
It doesn't.
To any of our lovely, lovely
Or if it
listeners.
does exist, the guy ghosted the girl after the first date. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's more.
They love bomb ya with the meet cute.
I mean, I guess the girl could do that too.
Well, vice versa, yeah.
The guy is like a creep or something. He's like, haha, I'm gonna not call you again. I think that's equally
it just makes me
as
angry
possible.
because it's like something that doesn't even. It's not even based on a true story.
What's not based on a true story?
The meet cute.
No, but it is cute. Meet cute.
That's the difference between you and me, Molly. I can't.
Well, maybe in 20 years I'll be as jaded.
Maybe.
Maybe.
If you're lucky.
I'm already pretty jaded, Cindy.
I just can't even.
The one thing I love is fictional romance stories. I'm definitely jaded when it comes to romance in real life.
Yeah.
But in stories, I mean,
I wouldn't want to be a 52-year-old woman going, I'm going to meet my soulmates.
Yeah. I mean, you could.
I mean, next year I'm going to stand out in the middle of RAGPRI. See how many people hit me with their bikes. And then I'll walk them to urgent care.
See if you can catch a hottie.
I haven't even seen the episode after this, but like she's at his apartment, like bringing him food.
Of course.
And actually, there was some weird, like she filled out his hospital information. Does that seem weird to you? To let a complete stranger fill out your name and address?
Yeah.
That would be weird.
That is weird. But again, it is fiction.
But I also think that the writers of this show were the writers from the 80s or whenever the original show was.
It's the 2000s. Cindy,
and they
please.
still have not. They're still actively smoking, which I know. I mean, I don't care. Smoke or not smoke, I don't care. But like,
it's bad for you. Don't do it.
There's been definitely a trend where they don't show smoking in a healthy light anymore, right?
Right.
Like, wasn't there a law or something passed? Or I just remember it was all over the place, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're not going to do smoking in shows anymore.
Yeah, there was like I think just the fact that the general public, like, in like the early 2000s, there was like this big push to not like have smoking in public places and all this health information coming out, and the Surgeon General's warning on on like every pack of cigarettes and like so many like anti-smoking commercials and ads, and it worked for my generation. I don't know anyone who smokes.
I know a couple of people from your generation that do, but they do it.
I know a couple of Gen Zs who do it just because they think it's cool because their parents say not to. And I'm like, you don't look cool. You're just giving yourself black lung.
But they all do it secretly. Nobody smokes out in the open anymore.
Actually, they don't. My cousin, she is like, I think she's 18. She lives out in California, and she is always posting herself smoking like on Instagram stories, and she thinks she looks so cool, and I'm just like, you probably stink too. I'm not gonna lecture her about it because she's just waiting for someone to lecture her about it, you know. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
Don't start, because it's the hardest thing I ever had, and I've quit a lot of things in my life. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to quit.
Exactly. I want to tell all the little Gen Z or Gen Alpha kiddies listening to this, do not start, because it is hard to stop. That's all I've heard from like every adult in my life who has started smoking. Do not start. It's expensive. It's unhealthy, unhygienic.
Everything smells.
Yeah, like it permeates your pores. Like your skin smells like smoke. Anyway.
Top of the hour.
Yeah, it's the top of the hour. We have to take a break for news and weather. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. Hawaii's governor now says 53 people have been killed in Maui wildfires. This American tourist arrived on Sunday, explored Lahaina, and days later,
on both sides of the highway, it appeared as though a lot of homes got lost, and then the entire downtown was just blackened.
CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti is in Maui.
Hurricane-force winds sent a wall of flames tearing across the island on Tuesday, giving residents little time to react. The Coast Guard rescued 17 people who ran into the ocean to escape the flames in an apocalyptic scene.
This is not even the worst of it. Still get dead bodies in the water floating and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night.
Oh my gosh, look at the harbor.
The death toll is expected to climb as block after block of Lahaina has been reduced to charred rubble.
Iran transfers 5 Iranian Americans from prison to house arrest. CBS News has learned it's in exchange for the regime soon gaining access to some $6 billion in blocked funds sitting outside the heavily sanctioned country. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says sanctions against Iran will continue to be enforced, and for the 5 Americans.
My belief is that this is the beginning of the end of their nightmare and the nightmare that their families have experienced.
President Biden marks 1 year since the PACT Act went into effect.
The law expanded health care and other benefits for veterans exposed to toxins like burn pits. The president says the law helps fulfill a sacred obligation.
And that's to equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't.
President Biden's son, Beau, died of brain cancer after he was exposed to a toxic burn pit, so the president knows all too well the benefits of the PACT Act.
Benefits like monthly disability compensation.
340,000 veterans are benefiting from the law in the 1 year since it went into effect. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The union that represents striking film and TV screenwriters says negotiations with major studios and streaming services will resume tomorrow. Actor Brad Garrett of Everyone Loves Raymond was on a picket line of striking actors when he heard the news.
Let's do it all at once. Let's piggyback. Let's all go in. Let's get this industry back. We can't do it without the writers. They can't do it without the actors.
Weather experts are now predicting an above-normal Atlantic hurricane season. Matthew Rosencrans with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Our 6 to 11 hurricanes that are forecast this year, which we had 5 to 9 forecast earlier, would be in line with the 8 hurricanes we had last year and the 7 hurricanes from the year before that.
This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's News First.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. The Coralville City Council has responded to resident concerns about safety in their neighborhood and will be reducing speed limits on portions of First Avenue and Dubuque Street. Later this month, maximum speeds on those two main thoroughfares will be lowered as much as 20 miles per hour in an effort to keep subdivisions on the city's north side safe. Current speed limits are 55 miles per hour along First Avenue and Dubuque Street near the North Liberty Roundabout. Once the change goes into effect, the limits will drop to 45 miles per hour, with a large stretch of First Avenue from Oakdale Boulevard to north of Meade Drive dropping to 35 miles per hour. Dubuque Street's 35-mile-per-hour limit will extend north to County Down Lane. The changes are in response to a Change.org petition that residents used to express frustrations with what they felt were excessive speed limits around blind corners and a narrow roadway. The changes are expected to go into effect on August 23rd, the first day of school. An Oxford man pulled over for a traffic stop was taken into custody late Tuesday night after it was learned there was an active warrant for his arrest. 39-year-old Plimio Zuniga Duror was pulled over on 340th Street in Tiffin just before midnight for having a license plate light out. After determining his identity, it was learned that his driving status was barred until July 2024. Zuniga Duror was also wanted on a warrant for an alleged motorcycle theft. On the night of July 6th, a Johnson County Sheriff's deputy located a motorcycle without a license plate on Highway 218 North at mile marker 93. A check of the motorcycle's vehicle identification number with DOT records found the motorcycle had been reported as stolen. Zuniga Duror was identified as the driver of the motorcycle, and he was reportedly still in possession of the only ignition key. The ignition had been allegedly damaged and hot-wired. The victim had not given permission for Zuniga Duror or anyone else to use the motorcycle, and the deputy's car and body camera footage reportedly showed Zuniga Duror as the sole operator of the vehicle. He was taken into custody and charged with driving while barred and second-degree theft. If convicted on both counts, Zuniga Duror could be sentenced to up to 7 years in prison. The International Writing Program at the University of Iowa is welcoming 34 writers from 30 countries and territories to its 11-week fall residency beginning a week from Saturday. The prestigious literary and cultural exchange is hosted with major support from the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the U.S. State Department and the University of Iowa. According to a news release from the university, the fall residency writers are established authors selected to participate as a result of a rigorous application process. Each was nominated to participate by a U.S. embassy or nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting the arts. There will be many opportunities for the public to connect with the visiting authors, as the fall residency features 4 series of recurring weekly events, all of which are free and open to the public. They include readings at Prairie Lights Bookstore, screenings of international films, panel discussions on topics of cultural import, and readings at the historic Shambaugh House on the University of Iowa campus. Event details are posted to the International Writing Program Facebook page and its website, iwp.uiowa.edu. In sports, 2 University of Iowa football players were named to position watch lists on Thursday. Linebacker Nick Jackson was named to the Dick Butkus Award watch list, while defensive back Cooper DeJean was named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list. Presented annually, the Butkus Award goes to the nation's most outstanding linebacker. The award's semifinalists are expected to be named October 30th, with finalists to follow on November 20th. The winner will be named on or before December 6th. The Thorpe Award is awarded annually to the best defensive back in college football. The award's semifinalists are expected to be named October 31st, with finalists to follow on November 28th. The winner will be announced December 7th as part of ESPN's College Football Awards show. The Hawkeyes open their season September 2nd, hosting Utah State. The sold-out game kicks off at 11 a.m. and can be seen on FS1. And a reminder, we've got another KCJJ radio auction Friday morning starting at 6. For more information, go to 1630kcjj.com or the KCJJ app and click on Auction. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. For tonight, a few showers and thunderstorms possible, a partly cloudy sky, a low in the mid-60s. For tomorrow, scattered showers and storms in the morning, then some sunny breaks towards the afternoon. A high in the upper 80s. Another chance of showers and storms tomorrow night, lows mid-60s. Sunny and upper 80s again for Saturday, more storms possible Sunday. That's KCJJ weather. Right now it's 80.
You're listening to Molly Suter on the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Yes. You're also listening to Cindy.
Hello.
Hello.
That's me.
It is. So, before we get into hour 2 of whatever we're going to be talking about, because we don't know, I made a new banner for my Facebook page for the Molly Suter Show, and I'm quite proud of it, so I would appreciate if the people listening could go and like it.
To your Molly Suter?
Yes. The Molly Suter Show Facebook page. Anyway. So, also Cindy, last hour you were like, oh, well, we went to Atlas to have oysters. It's not Atlas anywhere. It's St. Bridge Tavern.
That's correct. That is correct. We were in a time shift.
Sure.
And we went in 8 years ago, or whatever it was. It was St. Birch.
Oh, yeah. 8 years.
I don't know what it was.
Has it really been 8 years?
I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Oh,
I was trying to be like you. In 2012, in October of 2012.
That's just I
have no idea.
My really good memory for dates and words.
But I saw somebody else wanted more information. Happy hour is from 3 to 6. There's $1 and $2 oysters. East Coast, West Coast. I think the East Coast are cheaper, but I'm not 100% sure. Normally they're like $2.50 all the way up to like $4.50 an oyster.
Are oysters like mussels? Because I like mussels. I don't think I've ever had an oyster.
Well, they're not cooked. So mussels you would normally have cooked.
Right.
But they're like in a shell, and they're kind of...
Don't you like slurp them or something?
Yes. And like some people like will just kind of swallow them that way. I like to kind of zhuzh it around in my mouth a little bit, and I'll chew on it a little bit. But they're not... there's a certain texture to it.
Is it mostly liquid or?
Mostly, yeah, but there's like some sliminess to it. Some people don't like that sliminess.
I feel like I wouldn't like the sliminess.
I mean, I think there's two kind of people in the world, Molly. People that like oysters and people that don't.
I don't know which one of the people I am because I haven't.
If you want to try them, actually, if you want me to take you sometime, I will.
But I'm afraid that I won't like them, and so then I'll just be wasting.
I will order 50 oysters, and if you eat
try
one of them, you'll be like, I don't know, and then you have a second one. I'm like, okay, then I guess I'll just eat the other 48, and I won't have a problem.
I'll have 48 oysters. But what if I love them?
Then you'll help me with the 48 left, the 50 left. We ordered 20. I can't imagine ordering 50 because that would be a really big tray. I'd be kind of embarrassed, but not embarrassed. I told my daughter as I was leaving, I'm like, what if I just came here one afternoon and just ordered like 50 oysters by myself?
Why
and they
not?
would be like,
why not?
Is somebody joining you?
Nope. No, Cindy, live your life. Do whatever you want to do.
It was her birthday, so I only had I think I counted 7, and so she had the other 13. And then they also have this, oh gosh, truffle fries with cheese fondue on it. So like this melted cheese and truffle oils and perfectly crisp, like little French fries. It's so good. We had that.
They're not a sponsor. We should stop talking about that.
Sorry.
It's all right.
You need to find a sponsor that does oysters, and I will talk the crap out of it.
I actually don't know if one of our sponsors does oysters. That's another thing. I'm like, we should stop talking about that other restaurant in case one of them does.
If they do, give me a call, and I will go there, and I will try it out.
I don't know.
I'll live stream from it. It'd have to be on Facebook, because I don't think I have live stream on
Actually,
TikTok.
honestly, I think you would probably get attention from a certain subset of people if you were slurping oysters online.
Oh, those are the people with money that'll pay you to eat oysters.
Maybe.
I'd do that.
Oh, thank you for liking my banner. I just got the notification from Cindy for liking my banner.
It's got a definite 90s feel to it.
That's another thing. Like I do play mostly today's hits, but I have access to play 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, so I wanted it kind of retro. So I'm glad that you picked up on that.
Yes. It's got a 90s feel.
It does. Do like it.
I don't know what that feel is.
I like the colors, too.
Yes, I do, too.
They're girly.
Very.
Girl.
Yes. You've seen Barbie, haven't you?
Yes, I love Barbie.
I still haven't seen it.
I want to see it again.
That's what everyone's saying, that they want to see it multiple times.
I asked
my daughter, because I've seen the clip from America
for
doing the, women have to be this. And
yes.
That. And that to me, just
monologue.
watching the clip, I started crying because I was like, oh, but there's more.
Yeah.
There's more of that, right?
Yes.
That's not just the best part of it. Okay.
I mean, that is the bulk of it, but there are additions to it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's equal parts very fun and visually dynamic and actually heartwarming.
Have you seen the interview where the guy, I should know his name,
Ryan
Gosling said that he had gotten the offer for being Ken, and he was thinking about it, and he walked out to his backyard and he saw his daughters, because he has a slew of children, doesn't he?
I think he has at least 2.
And he found the daughters Ken half naked, shoved in the mud, face first. He's like, I want to tell his story.
I want to tell his story. Wait, there was another quote. I wanna find it. But yeah, that was one thing that inspired him to be Ken. Okay, so Ryan Gosling.
I was big into Barbies back in the day.
So a thing about the Barbie movie is that all the Barbies have doll counterparts in the real world, and they live in Barbie Land. And so these are all manifestations of the dolls in the real world. And so I was thinking about that. I only had one Barbie growing up that I remember. And I think I got her when I was 8. And she was just kind of a simple Barbie with simple clothes. She wasn't a princess or whatever. My cat chewed on her feet. And so she had mangled feet. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, my Barbie is crawling around Barbie Land with mangled feet. I hope someone at least gave her a wheelchair.
The Misfit Barbie Island is what they need. I had a Barbie that was suntan Barbie, because this is probably the late 70s, early 80s, and of course there's the suntan Barbie, because who cares about skin cancer?
Oh, right.
And if you put it out in the sun or under a light, it would get tan. So I, being however old I was, I'm hoping I was under 10, decided to tie the Barbie by the hand to a light bulb, because okay, this might have been the ADHD kicking in when I was a kid, because I didn't want to stand there and wait for her to get tan. I couldn't wait. So I wanted her to get tan as quickly as possible without any sort of interaction for me, because I didn't want to hold her there.
Right.
And
God.
so I just tied her to the lamp in the living room. And I think at one point my mom's like, what is that smell? And I mean, I could have very easily burnt the house down. And I don't think they made those Barbies after that, because I don't think I'm the only one that did that.
You're probably not the only one who did that.
And she lost a hand.
Oh.
It melted and we lost a light bulb, but it's not as important.
So your poor Barbie is without a hand in Barbie Land. But think about how many Barbies must be in Barbie Land. Like, how many Barbies, like, since 1958 or whatever.
There's been a lot.
59.
I remember one of my mom's friends that lived in, like, Pennsylvania or something. We were visiting her, and she didn't have kids. But, like, she sent us down to the basement to play, my sister and I, and she's like, I've got something special for you. And she pulled out, like, a 1950s Barbie. Like, an old school. Like, even as a kid, I knew that was...
That was old.
I don't think it was even... I think she let us take it out of the box, even, if I remember correctly.
Oh, no, you shouldn't do that.
We did and we didn't tell her. I don't remember, but we played with her.
If you have a 1950s Barbie, you need to just keep that in the box.
But it had, like,
she's going to be worth so much money.
The real, like, lashes, like it had, like, lashes, not like the plastic lashes. And the hair was a little bit, like, more plasticky. Not like the modern day Barbie. But this is like...
Her face is completely different, too.
Yeah.
Like,
and she was the cute little
like,
perk nose. And...
She looks like Cinderella.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure when the Barbie faces changed, but they're definitely different now.
But I just remember that was a core memory of mine of playing with that Barbie. It was really neat. But I even knew it was special at the time, even though this was like 30 years ago. But
that is cool, though.
Yeah.
You mean... So... my mom and, like, Kelly, if Kelly was a thing back then, I'm not sure if she was, but I know Mom could play with Skipper, so she only had Skipper dolls.
I mean, I get it, but, like, I remember a couple years ago I was at Walmart, and they had a normal-sized Barbie. Like, it was a little chunky. I loved it, because I'm like, hey, this looks like me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since. I haven't looked, but, like, I just don't think those sell as well.
They don't. Like, the classic Barbies do, just because that's what... When you think of a Barbie, like, that's the stereotypical... With the long legs and the big boobs and the no waist and
I just think...
Like
I agree, it's unrealistic, but I do think that I like to think that most girls and women don't internalize that.
Well, I feel like we can say that now as, like, fully adult women, but, like... Representation does matter.
Yeah.
And so when you are a little girl, like, you do internalize things.
Yeah.
And little boys too, I'm sure. And so I understand my grandma not wanting to subject my mom to that, like an unrealistic beauty standard, especially if she was, like,
she would have been way ahead of her game then. She would have been way ahead of...
Oh yeah, my grandma was awesome.
Okay. I was thinking that it was a religious thing, and I was going to be like, no. Your grandma sucks.
Absolutely
but no,
not.
That sounds like because that would have been...
Rules.
That would have been a long time ago before. I mean,
my mom would have been a little girl in, like, the mid to late 60s, early 70s.
So maybe the beginning of feminism, but if they lived in Iowa...
It's not the beginning of feminism.
That was the big push of, bra burning and all that stuff.
Right.
But, like, did she live in Iowa?
At the time, she would have lived in Mississippi.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
I was going to say Iowa. That didn't start until the 80s.
My grandma was fired from her position at a college down in Mississippi for her support of the civil rights movement.
Talk about being on the wrong side of history of her boss.
I know. No, my grandma was badass. I miss her a lot.
That's awesome. Is her biography around?
I don't think we should write one. I should write one.
I bet you she didn't run into Grandpa at a coffee shop when she got coffee spilled on her, did she?
No. So I'm not sure how she met. So she married twice. My biological grandpa and then my step grandpa, who they got married before I was even born. So he's like a full grandpa.
Right.
There's no difference. I'm not sure. I think she met my mom's dad in college, and then, like, later in life she met her second husband just around. I don't know. I actually don't know. I should
Tinder?
ask. No, I'm kidding. Tinder wasn't a thing in 1985, Cindy.
Back then, you had to like actually be within arm's reach of people to meet them, which kind of sucks.
She probably met him in like a professional setting. Like I think they both worked associated with the university, so they probably met at work.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I was not a Barbie girl. I was a Polly Pocket girl.
My kids loved those.
I had so many Polly Pockets, and all of my friends had Polly Pockets too. Actually, my friend had a lot of Bratz dolls too. None of us were really Barbie girls.
I don't, I think it skipped some generation because
Maybe there was a thing in the mid 2000s where like we weren't like as enamored with Barbie.
I will say, growing up, there wasn't Bratz. There wasn't those other things. So if you wanted that kind of doll, like a fashion doll that you could dress up and play with, Barbie was your only choice.
Yeah.
At that point, we didn't have the other
there were
offshoots.
Yeah, and so there was Polly Pocket and there was Bratz, and so there were options.
We had
when I was a kid
the strawberry shortcake dolls that smelled.
I think I had a few of those. I think Amy had one, but we weren't really into it. We were really into Polly Pocket. I had this entire like huge Von Maur bag full of like her clothes, her house, her friends, maybe a boyfriend. But I remember her clothes were so fun to chew on.
They're so much fun to pick up too.
The rubber of her of her clothes. It was just like so satisfying just chewing on them.
I can see that.
But I enjoyed playing with Bratz too. Yeah, I guess I just wasn't a Barbie girl. Although I feel like in hindsight, I would have loved to play with Barbies, but I wasn't interested in it.
I mean, I tried to kind of force it into my kids, but it didn't really take.
Oh, Joe in the chat room says, how about Beanie Babies? I only had a few. There's a large collection of them at the after-school program I went to, and so that's where I got my Beanie Baby fix. I don't think I was that into them either. Yeah, I was a Polly Pocket girl.
I just remember seeing them for sale at garage sales all the time. Like, tons of them.
Oh, yeah. And, like, people invested in them because they thought it was going to be, like, this big thing to, like, make money off
the
of
Cabbage
them.
Patch Girl, or Cabbage Patch Kids.
And I think maybe really, really extremely rare Beanie Babies do go for a lot of money, but most of them don't. And so they're just, like, rotting in, like, garages everywhere.
That's because the market got flooded or something with it. Like, everybody was doing it. Well, not everybody. I wasn't, but...
No, I wasn't either. But I remember there was this Beanie Baby book that we had at the after-school program, and there's this one page that I remember. There was this, like, I think Miss America in 1997 or something had, like, this huge Beanie Baby collection, and so it was a picture of her with all of her Beanie Babies, and she was, like, surrounded by them, and she was in this, like, pretty dress and tiara and her sash and stuff, but all these Beanie Babies just around her, and I'm just like, wow, that's a lot. That's for an adult woman to have. I was judging her a little bit. I'm like, wow.
I mean, she might have been on the spectrum.
She's
we don't know.
Grown-up. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe she just had a lot of Beanie Babies because she
Have you
thought
seen
it was
that trend, though, on TikTok where they're like, my mom says that my dad isn't on, or that they were like basically talking about the older generation. Saying,
right.
Mom and dad say that they, that there weren't autistic people back in their day. Mm-hmm. And then they talk about how, dad has like this, like, massive knowledge of Morse code, and like one lady was saying that her mom told her a story about how she had to learn Morse code because for like 2 years that's all her husband would communicate in,
her husband had like the same lunch every single day and would cry if like
there's no autism back then.
Like, there was just
wasn't clocked.
There was just not a word for
right,
it back
exactly.
then. It existed. Someone said Furbies were creepy. I had one Furby. He was creepy. I named him Happy. And he lived in my closet most of the time because, like, I swear to God, those things were, like, motion activated. If you walked past it, it would be like, wah! Hello! Or whatever it did. And so Happy would have to go back into my closet, like, facing the wall, so he wouldn't be tripped. But sometimes in the middle of the night, wah! Hi! Or whatever they said.
That's the last thing you want to hear.
Yeah, and so you would have to take the batteries out of them. Furbies were creepy.
This was before you probably were a kid. Monchichi. I don't even remember
No,
what
I
it was, but the song was like, Monchichi, Monchichi, oh, so soft and cuddly. And if you're of a certain age, you'll know that song.
I don't know it. So
but
yeah,
it was
that
like a
before my
monkey
time.
looking thing that I think had like an open hole in their mouth that you could put the thumb of their mouth in, if I remember correctly. And I think that was the only thing. They weren't electronic. They weren't anything fancy. But somebody will know. Somebody who is born after 1970 or born the same time as I was. They'll know. Or Teddy Ruxpin.
No.
I always wanted one of those.
What's that?
It's like a teddy bear that you put like a cassette tape into and it'll tell you the story, like the cassette tape. It'll talk.
Oh.
But I think I had to put certain cassette tapes or certain tapes into the
Wait, I
body.
think Tommy Lang has one of those. His name is Corky, and he's very, very creepy.
A little bit. Yeah.
No, wait, he's like a baby doll that you put like a cassette tape in.
That I don't know.
He's very creepy. When we first discovered him, he was like, this is before like he got new batteries, and so his speech was distorted. It was like, those are the wiggliest worms I have ever seen.
A baby doll?
Yes, it's a baby doll, like a toddler doll. You should ask Tommy Lang about Corky.
Like Chucky type?
No, not quite. No, it's like curly red hair.
Okay. I mean, we could talk about the toys that were okay, so my grandparents had toys that should have been thrown in the trash.
Oh,
I
I'm
remember the rocking horse that was like, I think it was metal. I think the body was metal. And it was like on this like kind of like crescent moon like rack, and like four springs held it, and you would just basically bounce on or go back and forth. And those springs would like, you could catch your fingers in them. They were so horrible.
I mean, I remember we had rocking horses too, but they were like wooden.
This was like a spring activated kind of like.
Wait, I had friends who had one of those.
But you'd have to have old people in your house in order to have this. Like grandma and grandpa would have had it from their kids.
No, I think there was another iteration of it probably in the 90s. Before it was probably recalled again. I just remember there was like this rocking horse and it had springs to it.
Right, and you just like go back and forth. I remember my cousins could make him go like almost where their head was hitting the floor and back again. My cousins were pretty rough on stuff though.
If you have enough like strength to do that, I think you've aged out of the rocking horse.
Well, any toy really can be dangerous. It just depends on how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
And my boy cousins on my mom's side were very, very good at breaking things.
What is it about little boys and breaking things? They're all so aggressive.
And they were always the ones that would flip the board game table.
I had a guy friend who was maybe 10 or 11 at this point. I was like 9. He broke my inflatable couch because he sat down on it too hard. He popped it. He also popped my slip and slide. He was so aggressive.
Like, was he walking around with knives in his pocket or something?
No, I don't know how it happened, but he ripped the slip and slide and he popped the inflatable couch.
I think he had a knife.
I loved my inflatable couch. It was so cool. I think I was actually 7 or 8.
You can get big ones now. You can get like a full-size one. Oh. They have them for like camping.
That's an idea.
They have them for camping. I really want to get one of those big, huge. Have you seen the big, huge? Why can't I think of any words tonight? The big beanbag. Those big, huge bean bags.
Oh, yeah, I've heard the Nest Pods or whatever they're called.
I think I would get in that and I would not be able to get out of it.
No.
Which I'm okay
You
with.
could get one of those instead of a bed. Like, just
I know,
sleep
they're
there.
huge.
Yeah, they're huge.
I think I could fit it in my living room if I got rid of one of the chairs. My dog would chew it, though.
Oh.
I think my dog would get a hold of it.
I would never get out of it. Like, it's
you
already
have to almost roll out of it.
It's already hard enough to get off of the couch or out of bed in order to do my daily duties, but if I had one of those things and I had like a fuzzy blanket too, I would never leave.
It would be great for, like, you wouldn't have to sleep on your side or anything. Everything would be like supported by the beanies inside. I don't know the science of bean bags, but it seems like you would not have to like roll. Like 90% of me shifting sides is because one side gets like numb.
What?
Not numb, but like, you know, you like when you lay on your side for too long, it hurts.
Yeah, or not hurts, but just like you want to go to the other side.
You got to get a fresh side. Although sometimes mine does.
I know. I definitely know what that's like. I toss and turn all night.
I think a beanbag would prevent that from happening because you'd be kind of all comfortable. It would just mold to your body. Maybe that's what I need. Just a big beanbag in my room. Do they have like a king-size beanbag?
I don't. Probably. I have this friend who moved into a new apartment like a few years ago, and he didn't have like a mattress yet, and so for the first like week he was there, he was sleeping on this blue thing. It was like, he's a tall dude too, so he must have been like crunching his entire body to try to find on this. I think it's called, what is it, Yorubo? Yeah, the Yorubo pillow. It's like, it's a full body one. I just can't understand. Yeah, it was the Yogobo roll pillow. And it's like, can you see this? Gosh. Why can't I? Anyway, it's just this huge pillow. And I'm just like, looking at this thing, I'm like, my back hurts just by looking at that, and I'm not a 6'3" dude, so I don't know how he did that.
That's crazy.
And so, but he's like, it's fine. I'm like, get yourself a real mattress. You're 28.
Is he still single by any chance?
I don't know.
If he does not prioritize beds, you might still be single.
I think he is.
Just a mattress on the floor. I like that.
Oh, no.
No bed springs. Just a mattress.
Do you want his number?
No sheets. No fitted sheet.
I think he.
That's my favorite
He at
kind
least
of guy.
has all of that now.
Okay.
But he did have yoga bow for like a week until me and my other friend were like, "Get an actual bed. You're an adult."
Yeah. I mean, that would be the first thing I think about is like, okay, bed. Do I need to move mine over?
You have to get a bed.
Yeah.
Or at least like, get like an air mattress for the first week if you're really like that picky about like buying the perfect mattress, or
Well,
like
first
waiting
I
for
think
one
about
of those online
electricity and internet. That's the first two things.
ones. Right.
But then bed is like the third.
Water's a good one too.
I can live without water.
No, you can't. No, you
Well, the
can't.
place I moved into, I didn't have to worry about it because it was already
Right.
through the park. But yeah, get all the hookups. But then you got to make sure you have a place to sleep. Even if it's a couch, why doesn't he have a couch?
I don't know. I'm not his keeper. I'm not his mom. I just told him, you're an adult man. You need a bed.
It's because he's single. That's why he didn't think about that.
Probably. But yeah,
Your friend, I swear.
I know. I have some interesting friends, Cindy.
So on TikTok the week before, did you see the Taby Boop and what's her name, Karen Joy?
No.
Did you hear anything about
What
that?
are you talking about? No.
Okay, they're two somewhat successful influencers that focus on do-it-yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Taby Boop. I have no idea what her real name is. I hate saying Taby Boop, but she's good enough to where she actually partnered with like a wallpaper company and got designs out of hers. She got on TikTok and decided to say, yeah, well, I wasn't going to say anything publicly, but this has really been bothering me. And then she goes on and on about how this Karen Joy has been copying her do-it-yourself decorations. And then the examples she gives are like not Karen Joy copying anything. It's just like kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they both did this like squiggle thing on their wall. They both have these like art walls that are like Karen Joy has her boyfriend's like artwork that is like dinosaur heads.
Oh.
And Karen Joy did like
that sounds cool.
Different kind of like toy heads, basically. I mean, and I didn't follow either of them, but Karen Joy always pops up on my For You page because I almost always watch her videos when I see it because she does these like cute little. You might have seen the cereal bowls. You had to have seen that. She makes cereal bowls that she puts up on her wall, like life-size cereal bowls.
No, I have no idea who you're talking about.
It's like cereal in it. It's amazing. Of course, everyone started like blasting Taby Boop because one of the other things she said is like, well, you know, she uses this wallpaper that, you know, is in my wallpaper line, but still. Like, she bought stuff from your company
right
to use in her do-it-yourself design. It was like, that was the big, before the Alabama brawl, that was all over my feed. And it was pretty amazing to watch because nobody really likes Taby Boop anymore, but everybody likes Karen Joy.
Oh, okay. Well, your FYP is always interesting to me. Because for me, as I said, it's all Taylor Swift pretty much all the time now.
I can start sending you stuff. I should start sending you stuff to see what happens. I like how diverse mine is. But these are just like basically two white girls fighting over whether or not, you know. And actually, Karen's response was really wonderful. She's just like, I didn't even realize that she was mad at me. And, you know, like she's just like all upset about it. And it was just a good lesson is when, you know, when you blow up on TikTok, don't listen to all your fans telling you bad stuff. Because I think that's what happened is like everyone's like, hey, this girl's copying you. And Taby Boop kind of ran with it. Without, like, everybody needs a friend that you go to and you say, hey, I'm kind of upset about this. Should I be? And that friend will be like, girl, you're crazy.
Isn't imitation the sincerest form of flattery?
And that's the thing. Like, everyone's like, okay, first of all, it's really not. Oh, and she was like trying to say that this color, she picked a green and blue color scheme for her living room or something. Dare she? And Karen just moved into a new house, and so she's redoing a whole bunch of stuff. Her kitchen is this same green and blue.
It's almost not like trends are.
A lot of people, of course, like if you're going to do that, like don't have like years of history on Instagram and, you know, like what's the other one that you get ideas from?
Pinterest.
Pinterest. Like all of these, like she did a moss mirror that I remember Karen Joy doing the moss mirror. She did the moss mirror because she screwed up on the original design that she wanted to. And everyone's like, hey, put moss on it. And so she did. Well, now Taby Boop apparently did one slightly before a moss mirror, which is like, everyone's like, oh, that's from Pinterest of like 2010. You know, like they all, like everyone has, you know, the historians come out, the TikTok historians come out. It was just funny because it's like you can't blame somebody for like quote unquote copying you when you're a do-it-yourselfer because that's the whole point. You want people to do it.
Yeah, like aren't you trying to inspire people to do things themselves?
Yeah, I thought it was just an interesting lesson of, and it was interesting drama. That's why I think TikTok is awesome because you can watch all the drama.
There's just a lot of content that you can get on TikTok, and I do like that.
I get all the drama, I think. That's really what those two things have in common is drama.
Drama, yeah. You know all the tea.
Yeah, you come to me. Or go to Cliff Note Gal. She does it all just as well as I do. Do the rundown.
I like the TikToks that you send me. Send me the messy ones that you see.
You want a messy TikTok just like mine?
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right. Bet.
Oh gosh. All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Send me your worst.
I'm kind of curious to see what happens next. I want the next drama. I won't send you any of the. I keep getting all of the reality show drama stuff that's going on because that's what I watch. TikTok knows I watch a lot of reality TV. That's not as interesting.
I haven't been watching reality TV a lot ever since I lost my Netflix access. I was a fan of the Netflix reality shows, but I haven't been watching them. And I used to watch Survivor a lot, but I haven't been.
You know you can get Netflix for like $6. a month.
I know. I'm mad at them because they're not paying like their writers or whatever like well, and so I don't want to reward that by like resubscribing. I'm not going to do that.
That
yet.
whole AI thing that people were describing, like that was that was a movie, like in 1980. I looked it up. There was a movie where they were like the AI was getting out of control, and they had like this actress that like they did all this AI stuff for, and they ended up murdering her because they didn't need her anymore.
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen next.
If you don't know what Cindy's talking about, it's this new like proposed thing that some of these movie studios have like a contract to where if you are an extra or maybe like a small role actor, if you sign a contract, like they can use your likeness for AI for whatever they want, and
forever,
and you're not paid.
Right. Well, you're barely paid now, but
like you get paid one time, and then you sign like your likeness away to them.
And some of these
That's
AI
crazy.
renditions are like it's like I can't even tell half the time. Although my favorites are the people that get on there and say, I decided to do an AI of like one guy showed us all the results of him looking like an old man and him looking like a professional, and then he's like, I'm gonna do myself as a kid, and the kid, he did like 10 different shots, AI shots, and in each shot this kid had like one more backpack. He's like, I'm getting angry at this point, like why do I have so many backpacks as a kid? It was so weird. So hopefully the AI thing won't go too far, but
I have a friend. It's a different friend from the no bed guy, but he decided to play with AI too, and he made himself into like a dad holding a baby that was his face but babyfied.
I've seen renditions of that,
and it's his like profile picture, and I hate staring at it because he's smirking into like the camera, quote unquote camera, and I'm just like, I can't look at this because it's you like maybe 10 years in the future.
They had
smirking at me with a baby. Like
I think the same guy that did the backpack, like the kids and like all these different backpacks on the kid, he did the kid like having a child, and it was like somehow it morphed into him and himself as the parent with the baby. And that happened multiple times. He's like, I'm just confused. But I think they said it was AI of like they've taken, like The Office was always known for like the tight shot of like the thing. And then they like pull it back and like show the AI rendition of like what Dwight was actually wearing during that little interview.
I've seen those too.
Which is crazy.
It's funny.
Or like the AI renditions of like different movies with different characters. I think that's kind of interesting, but it's also kind of like they can do that. Like normal people can just sign up for a program and throw in some words and I mean,
it's a little bit scary, but sometimes it can be fun.
That's crazy. Yeah, I got over my Netflix thing. I even upgraded.
I think your Netflix grudge just transferred to me.
I was mad. I was really mad.
So now I am too. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get Netflix when the new Stranger Things comes out next year. Or no, is it next year or the year after? Is it 2024 or 2025? No idea. Anyway, I'll get it for sure for then. And then if there's the new season of Bridgerton.
Yeah, and I didn't that show either.
I think that's coming out later this year.
I'm the only woman in America that did not like that.
Well, you don't like romance.
I know, it's so like...
and it's like Regency romance, which is like doubly probably bad for you. Yeah, I love Bridgerton.
I loved like the Jane Austen books.
Oh, Pride and Prejudice
back in the day. But I could not reread them today.
Pride and Prejudice 2005 is on Netflix. If you wanted to watch it.
But I don't want to watch them now because it's like even worse because that's like they don't talk about their feelings because that's what they didn't do back in the day.
They barely do that now.
True. But Cindy? Like this was more like, I don't know, it was just too subtle. Like I don't like that kind of subtlety.
I kind of do.
When it comes to I mean, I can see why it's kind of romantic. But...
I prefer. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I prefer watching the movies rather than reading the books of like old timey whatever. Because I had to read Pride and Prejudice in high school. Most of it went over my head, but I watched some iterations of it, and then I read like a modern retelling of it, and I loved it. I loved the movies, and I loved the modern retelling, but the way it's written, like,
It's
I can't
very
get past
old.
it. Yeah, it's very old, and I can't get past it.
I liked it. And I've read quite a few of that genre, but it just, I don't think I have the patience for it today.
That's fair.
Plus, I have a hard time with the whole, like, you're supposed to marry this person because we've chosen them for, like, the whole...
Oh, that was all the rage back then.
Back in the day. Back in the good old days.
Well, actually, in a few cultures today, too, arranged marriages are still very much a thing.
They last longer.
Actually, they do. Like, I think I read something a few years ago, so maybe it doesn't have any basis in reality anymore, but I read something like, when looking at the happiness levels of arranged couples versus, like, couples who chose each other, like, newlyweds, obviously the happiness is higher with the people who chose each other rather than the arranged marriages, but when you get, like, 20 years in the future, like, the happiness level is the same. Yeah. Interesting, right? I guess you get to know someone, like, within 20 years, and also... hopefully your parents choose someone for you that
they
is
didn't
more
say that
suited
they
for
were
you.
happy, though, after 20 years.
Happiness levels are the same.
Are the same, which could mean that they're not happy at the same rate, too.
Could be. Or just
I'm
kind
just
of
saying,
mildly
they didn't say that they were
happy.
equally as, like, the same amount of, oh, we love each other still.
Right.
They could just hate each other the same amount. They need to be more specific.
I think that would be sad, though, if, like, you started out in love and then you hated each other by the end.
That's what usually happens.
Which is why marriage is so weird to me.
I have said from the beginning that marriage needs to have, like, a 7-year contract.
Like a clause, yeah.
Or a 5-year contract.
You have to keep renewing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a driver's license.
Yeah, so at the end of 5 years or 7 years, I used to say 7, now I say 5. 3, actually, would be great. Every 3 years, you go in and, you renew your marriage license. And if you decide you don't want to do it, you don't pay the fee, boom, you're divorced.
Boom, you're not married anymore. Yeah, that would be infinitely easier.
I mean, you'd have to figure out the
divorce
logistics
proceedings.
of how to split stuff, but that would be awesome.
And it gets infinitely harder if you have kids, too.
I mean, when I'm president, that's what I'm going to do. Is make.
I mean, was it hard? Like, was your own divorce hard because you had
We had
kids?
nothing to split. So, nothing but debt to split. So mine wasn't that hard. Well, in that terms, but it was about a year after I filed.
Yeah.
When it finally was done.
Oh, okay.
But I was told from the beginning that usually, at least in Iowa, when you've got custody issues, like the judge will look at what was done before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got 5 years of, like, you being the primary caregiver, that's what's going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to suddenly go, okay, well, it's 50-50 now. Now, there's a lot of relationships where there is 50-50 parenting, but there were definitely, I had more of a traditional, like, I stayed home more with the kids. I took them to the doctor's appointments. I knew, like, I volunteered at the school. Like, I did all that stuff, and he
Mm-hmm.
worked. So I was the primary caregiver anyway, so we didn't have that
Mm-hmm.
difficult. And we had some other issues we had to kind of figure out. But anyway, it wasn't.
I feel like a year is, I want to say average.
From complete to finish.
Yeah.
I really wasn't that involved either. It's not like I kept calling. I think it probably could have been quicker.
Oh.
If I had gone, like, kept calling. But I'm like, okay, I already did the hard part. I gave him the money.
Please. Just let us
I signed the paperwork. Like, just, you do the rest of it. I don't want to deal with it. And I wasn't fighting for anything. Like, we had minimal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not. And I had never figured out, like, I had friends that had, like, a house and everything, and when they divorced, like, they lost everything. Like, they didn't keep the house or anything.
Gosh.
And then when that happened to me, I'm like, okay, now I get it, because there's so much debt wrapped up in that house that you don't want to take it with you.
Right.
And sometimes it's easier just to leave the situation and go someplace more manageable. So now I understand why women leave with nothing. Because that's preferable to
over.
like, you know, mine wasn't as dramatic as some of my friends were, but.
And now you have your ex-husband's dog.
Yes. It ended well.
Another child to share custody.
Who apparently pooped all over my house because I fed him too much today. I think.
No.
You don't know what happened, but.
Oh, poor Moose.
I know. Poor Katie. She's the one who has to clean it up.
Poor Katie.
I don't know how. She made it sound like it was a big deal. And
Was it her that had the birthday or was that Allie?
Allie. Allie and I both have. Mine's on Saturday.
Well, happy birthday.
Don't tell anyone.
But you're on the radio, Cindy. Now everyone knows.
Yeah, I usually try to take a week off around my birthday so I can relax.
Oh yeah, and you already did like last week.
I'm ending it up this weekend.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. 52.
Hey, I remember your 45 like by 45 challenge that you did.
Was that for working out?
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, you're like doing 45 minutes of like workout,
so
like
annoying.
For a few months.
Or
like for a month before your 45th.
That was before the 75 hard. I'm just saying, they copied me.
What's 75 hard?
Haven't you heard that? That
No.
75 hard. It's like 75 days. You got to do 2 workouts. One of them has to be outside each day. You got to read 75 minutes a day or something like that.
Oh, well, that's
nope.
fine.
It has to be a nonfiction book.
Why?
So like a self-help book of some sort. You've got to
Oh.
eat clean. It's like a whole bunch of things that you got to do for 75 days, which sounds ridiculous.
Also, the clean eating thing is a
I
gimmick.
mean,
is a
I
gimmick.
like that idea, and there's some
It's a
other,
buzzword.
like somebody has like the 75 mom challenge, which is like a little bit easier than the 75 hard challenge.
Gosh, that sounds terrible.
I know, but I like those challenges because it gives me structure.
It does, but it's not sustainable.
No, it's
like,
not. It's
And
not.
like the whole point of exercise is to do something that you will be able to do long term.
Well, I'm
and have it
sorry
be
I put you
sustainable.
through.
No,
the
I
45
just
by 45.
I just remember that.
I'm impressed with myself that I started at 45 minutes for 45 days before my birthday and remembered to do it. Because that's the kind of thing I think of like a year in advance. I'm like, oh, I want to do that before my 45th birthday. And then like a week before my 45th birthday, it's like, oh, crap, I was supposed to do this. But I planned it ahead. I started it on time, I think, if I remember correctly. Anyway.
I just remember seeing Facebook posts about it.
That was back in the day.
It was a while ago.
When I
7
had
years.
a gym membership.
Oh, you don't have it anymore? Oh, yeah, you finally quit PF, didn't you?
You know what inspired me? Is the girl on TikTok that's like, get ready with me while I go to the gym. And then the next clip is her going into the gym. Yeah, I'd like to cancel my membership. And I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing.
I did that once. I quit Planet Fitness one time and like took a few years break, and then I think it was in 2021 I decided I was gonna rejoin, and I did, and I was like, for 5 months I was like really diligent about going like 3 times a week, and like it just stopped, but I'm getting back into it again.
I would like to, I just don't. I'm too tired.
It's, for me, exercise, like, I find something I really like for about 5 months, and I'll do it for that 5 months pretty consistently, and then I will get bored again and not do it. Like, for, like, the first 5 months of this year, I would take, like, nature walks all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, I really like doing that, and I still do, but it's summer, so it's hot now,
Yeah.
so I don't do it. But in the winter and in the spring.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Someday.
Someday what?
I'll do, like, before my 100th birthday.
100
100 days, 100 minutes every day. Okay, I'm not going to live that long. Let's be realistic.
I mean, you might with technology and science how it is.
They can just plug my brain into another body.
That's probably on its way.
I think so. There's aliens.
Yep.
somebody was having a bad day, not a super bad day, but I'm like, hey, think of it this way. The world's going to end here pretty soon. The earth is boiling. There's aliens in the world.
There's so many like natural disasters. Like
everything's happening. Like we're not going to be around.
Like 65 people have died from the like volcanic activity in Maui.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Oh, that's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
I mean, not to make light of that, but this earth is going to explode here in a little
right.
bit.
Like there's just a lot of things happening.
So don't worry about it. Don't eat the cake. Eat the whole cake.
Eat so much cake.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to get
New
Pioneer.
I want cake.
Carrot cake. Oh my God.
Oh, I'll do chocolate cake.
I love carrot cake. It's like I'm eating healthy.
No, it's not.
It is.
I think
Molly.
I think carrot cake has like a lot more sugar in it.
It's the best. It's my favorite cake.
The carrot really only serves for the color of the cake.
There's little chunks of carrot.
And
raisins.
There are, but like it's not healthy.
It's a vegetable. That's all.
There are vegetables in it.
Let me have my dream. All right, it's time to go. I can't believe we did this again.
We always do it.
That should be our sign off. How did we talk for 2 hours?
How did we talk for 2 hours? Although, if we don't have a sign out by now, we're not going to. Again, it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years. Since
we have not. Nothing's come naturally.
No, nothing.
All right,
nothing.
Bye.
The only thing that's come naturally is this, the show title.
That's true.
Anyway, bye.
Bye.
From the Hertine and Stocker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News.